a lot of people get awkward when it comes to talking about older men flirting with younger women. But let's be real. If you're an older guy and you're interested in someone younger, there's a right way to do it, and there's definitely a wrong way to do it. The wrong way is creepy, overbearing, and usually makes women roll their eyes. The right way? Well, that's what we're going to unpack. First things first, confidence without arrogance. Younger women aren't looking for someone who's trying to compete with guys their own age in energy or trendiness. They're attracted to maturity, to groundedness, to a sense of present. So don't try to act 25 again. Own your age. Own your experience. The most attractive thing about being older is that you've lived, you've learned, and hopefully you've grown. Use that. Second, humor, but not the kind of humor that feels forced or outdated. If you're quoting memes from 10 years ago or making dad jokes that fall flat, she's gonna feel the age gap in the worst way. Instead, tease lightly, laugh at yourself, and show that you don't take everything so seriously. Humor is the bridge, it closes gaps, it creates chemistry, and it makes someone feel like you're fun to be around. Third, flirtation is not a transaction. Don't try to buy her attention with expensive dinners, gifts, or flashy displays. That comes off as compensating. Instead, give her genuine compliments. Notice things that other people overlook: her wit, the way she explains something, her passion for what she's doing. Women of any age can tell the difference between surface-level flattery and actual attention. Show her that you're paying attention. Now let's talk boundaries. Respect is everything. Younger women are used to older men crossing lines, being too aggressive, or treating them like they're naive. Don't be that guy. A subtle touch on the arm while laughing, a little lean in during conversation, those are signals, but always read her response. If she leans into, if she lingers, you've got green lights. If she pulls away, you respect it and adjust. That awareness makes you magnetic. Another point, don't make the age gap the entire personality of the interaction. If you keep making jokes like, wow, I'm old enough to be your dad, you've killed the vibe. She already knows you're older. You don't have to point it out every 5 minutes. What she's looking for is a man who makes her feel something. Charm, excitement, curiosity, not a reminder of your driver's license year. And finally, flirt with your lifestyle. Show her that you built something real for yourself, whether it's your career, your hobbies, your health, or just the way you carry yourself. A younger woman who's drawn to an older man isn't looking for immaturity or chaos. She's looking for someone who has his stuff together, someone who can add value to her life. So when you flirt, don't just play the game. Live the example. At the end of the day, the best flirting doesn't feel like strategy, it feels like connection. It feels fun, respectful, and natural. If you can combine presence, humor, and genuine interest, you'll stand out. Not as the older guy trying too hard, but as the man who knows exactly who he is and isn't afraid to let her see it. Confidence is one of those things people talk about all the time, but when it comes to older men flirting with younger women, it's not just about puffing your chest out and thinking you're God's gift to the world. Confidence here is about authenticity, about owning who you are, and about not slipping into the trap of pretending to be 25 again. When you walk into a conversation with a younger woman, she can pick up almost immediately whether you're comfortable in your own skin or whether you're trying to cover up insecurities. And honestly, nothing screams unattractive faster than a guy who can't own where he's at in life. If you're older, your advantage isn't in competing with younger men at their own game. It's not about dressing like them, talking like them, or forcing yourself into trends you don't even like. That's not confidence, that's insecurity dressed up as effort. Real confidence is saying, yeah, I've lived some life, I've had my ups and downs, I've figured out a little bit about myself, and I'm proud of that. Younger women aren't blind to that kind of self-assurance. In fact, it's often what draws them in the first place. They're not looking for a carbon copy of guys their age, they're curious about the energy of someone who's already walked through some of the storms they haven't even seen yet. Think about it like this. When you're younger, you're still trying to figure out your identity. You're experimenting, you're stumbling, you're second-guessing yourself every other day. By the time you've lived a few more years, you should, ideally, have a sense of who you are and what you want. That calmness, that sense of groundedness is incredibly magnetic. But the only way it shows up is if you stop pretending and start embracing. The moment you try to squeeze yourself into some box that doesn't fit anymore, you give off the opposite of confidence. You give off desperation. And trust me, women can smell desperation from a mile away. Now, confidence doesn't mean arrogance. You don't need to sit there bragging about everything you've done. Every trip you've taken, every dollar you've made. That's not confidence. That's a resume. Women don't want to date a resume. They want to connect with a real person who can listen, who can share stories in a way that's engaging, not condescending. There's a big difference between telling a story that shows your life experience and trying to lecture someone like you're their professor. Confidence is sharing from a place of presence, like this is who I am, this is what I've been through, and I don't need to oversell it. Part of that authenticity is also being okay with vulnerability. A lot of older guys think they have to be the unshakable rock all the time, like showing any sign of uncertainty will somehow ruin their image. But actually, vulnerability is one of the sexiest forms of confidence. It shows that you're comfortable enough with yourself to admit you don't have it all figured out, and that kind of honesty is refreshing. Younger women especially are drawn to men who can admit their flaws without spiraling into insecurity about them. That's because it shows emotional maturity, something they often don't get from guys their own age. Another thing, confidence is in the body language. It's in how you carry yourself. Are you standing tall? Are you making eye contact? Are you genuinely engaged in a conversation? Or are you hunched over your phone, nervously glancing around the room, or looking like you'd rather be anywhere else? Younger women notice these things immediately. You don't have to be the loudest guy in the room to be confident. In fact, confidence is often quiet. It's the guy who can sit back, smile, and listen without needing to dominate every second. That presence is powerful. And here's a little secret. Confidence is contagious. When you're grounded in who you are, the people around you feel it. A younger woman sitting across from you is going to feel more relaxed, more open, and more curious if you're calm and sure of yourself. But if you're jittery, self-conscious, or overcompensating, she's going to feel that energy too. People mirror what's in front of them. So if you want her to feel comfortable flirting back, you've got to create that space by being centered yourself. Confidence also shows up in the way you respect boundaries. An insecure man pushes too hard, doesn't know when to stop, and makes the whole interaction uncomfortable. A confident man knows that if she's interested, she'll meet him halfway. He doesn't panic if she takes a moment to respond. He doesn't freak out if she's not giving him instant validation. He knows his worth doesn't depend on her reaction. That patience, that ease, is incredibly attractive. At the end of the day, confidence as an older man flirting with a younger woman isn't about trying to erase the years between you. It's about standing tall in them. It's about saying, this is me, take it or leave it, and doing it with a smile. You don't need to be younger, cooler, or trendier than you are. You just need to be genuine, self-assured, and present. That's the kind of confidence that not only draws women in, but keeps them coming back, because it feels safe, exciting, and real all at once. Flirting is supposed to be fun. It's supposed to feel light, playful, and exciting. But here's where so many older men mess it up. They treat flirting like a transaction. They think if they buy enough dinners, show off their car, or flex their bank account, it'll somehow guarantee attention from a younger woman. That's not flirting, that's bargaining, and nobody finds that sexy. Flirting isn't about what you can throw on the table, it's about connection. It's about creating a spark that makes her lean in, smile, and feel drawn to you, without even realizing why. The magic of good flirting is in the balance of playfulness and respect. You tease, but you don't belittle. You compliment, but you don't drown her in cliches. You touch lightly, but you don't cross her boundaries. Every move you make says, I'm interested, without ever pressuring her to give you something back. That's what makes it work. It's an invitation, not a demand. Younger women are used to men who push too hard, who don't listen, or who turn the age gap into a punchline. So if you're the guy who shows genuine respect and still keeps it fun, you'll stand out instantly. Let's talk about compliments. Anyone can say, you're beautiful or you're hot. That's basic. And honestly, younger women hear that all the time, so it doesn't mean much. What actually lands are compliments that show you're paying attention. Maybe she's passionate about her art, or she lights up when she talks about her career, or she's got this sharp sense of humor that cuts through the room. Point those things out. Tell her how much you enjoy the way she thinks, or how her laugh makes you laugh. Those are the compliments that feel real, because they're about who she is, not just what she looks like. Now let's get into humor. Humor is one of the most powerful flirting tools, but it's also the easiest to mess up. If you're making outdated references she doesn't get, or if you're cracking jokes at her expense, you've lost her. Humor should bring you closer, not highlight the gap between you. Self-deprecating humor is golden. Show her you can laugh at yourself, that you don't take life too seriously. Playful teasing works too, as long as it's light and she's laughing with you, not feeling targeted. Humor creates chemistry, and chemistry is the oxygen that keeps flirting alive. Respect also shows up in body language. A lot of guys think flirting is about going in hard and fast, trying to create physical contact as soon as possible, but if you're really confident and respectful, you know how to slow down and read her cues. Maybe she leans in closer when you're talking. That's a good sign. Maybe she touches your arm while laughing. That's an invitation. But if she steps back or shifts away, you don't chase. You respect it, you give her space, and you let her decide if she wants to come closer again. That awareness is what separates flirting. That feels fun from flirting that feels creepy. Another thing, don't make the age gap your main material. Saying things like, wow, I'm so much older than you, or back in my day, every 2 minutes kills the vibe. She knows you're older. It's not a secret. What she wants to feel is that you're treating her like a woman, not like some kid you're trying to impress or lecture. The more you lean into the connection you're building instead of the years between you, the easier it is for her to relax and enjoy the interaction. And here's where the respect part really matters. Don't pressure. Younger women are constantly navigating situations where men push past their comfort zones. If you're the one who doesn't do that, who makes her feel safe and seen while still being fun and flirty, you instantly stand out. You become the guy who's different, the guy who respects her choices, the guy she actually wants to spend more time with. That kind of respect is rare, and it makes your flirtation so much more powerful. One of the biggest mistakes older men make is thinking they need to overcompensate with money, status, or grand gestures. But those things don't create emotional chemistry. What is showing up as someone who listens, who notices, who laughs, and who makes her feel like the only person in the room? Younger women aren't impressed by how much you can spend on them if there's no actual connection. They're impressed when you're present, when you can make them laugh, when you can tease them lightly while still making them feel respected. That's flirting done right. At the core of it, respectable and playful connection is about trust. You're showing her that you can be fun without being reckless, charming without being pushy, and attentive without being needy. You're creating a vibe where she feels both desired and safe, where she can lean into the chemistry without second-guessing your intentions. And when you nail that balance, the age difference fades into the background. It's not about older and younger anymore, it's just about two people having fun, building tension, and enjoying the thrill of the moment. That's what makes flirting powerful. Not the flashy gestures, not the constant reminders of your age, not the shallow compliments. It's the mix of playfulness and respect, humor and attention, teasing and listening. That's the sweet spot where sparks actually fly. And if you can master that, you don't just become the older man she flirts back with. You become the man she wants to keep around.